what's happening, everybody? It's Ike from Flipside Music, and welcome to What the F.A.Q, Season 4, Episode
11.
And as always, I am here with
Dylan.
And we hail from Denver, Colorado.
Exactly.
Colorado.
Yes. The gate to the west.
Yeah. No, isn't that St. Louis?
I don't know. We're the real gate to the west.
I'm like, wait a minute.
I know. It probably is.
That's what the whole arch is
But
for,
yeah, but like
it?
maybe, but like that's not. That's like they're still pretty east. That's not the.
Well,
real
at this
west.
point, they're
That was the old west.
They were the.
Yeah.
At one point,
Yes,
they
I know.
were.
Historically speaking, they
now,
were. We can claim that now.
I would say that's
Because I feel like especially with I-70 going through the mountains, like it's to me it's the we're the real gate of the west.
I feel that's accurate.
Taking it back or taking it. Moving forward, not taking it back.
Yeah, that's what we're doing. What he said.
Taking it forward.
Yeah, what he said.
All right. I think
it's a long run up to the gate, though. The drive through Kansas is brutal.
Well, it is. There's nothing all that interesting until you get to about. Well, I mean, because even really eastern.
Salida, you get to see windmills.
Well,
nothing. It's like Flintstones, like the old Flintstone cartoon. Mm-hmm. You know, where they used to run, like if Barney was chasing Fred.
Yeah,
and it would be like tree, rock, window, tree, rock.
It's pretty generous on the trees, though. Because usually it's rock, sunflower, rock, sunflower.
Nothing, tumbleweed. All right. Well, if you're still hanging around after that rant of nothing,
they gotta have some kind of weird.
Weekly question and answer show. You ask us a question, we give you an answer, and then we ramble sometimes.
Yes.
So,
and actually, this week I think we'll start with Metalhead Hippies because we sort of postponed it from last week.
Yeah. Okay, so go ahead.
So Metalhead, this will be. I mean, he kind of aimed it more at me, but this will be more of a free for all. He said, "Build the ultimate Tele Doom rig, pups, string gauge, and he does specify single coils only for the pickups. So pickups, string gauge, tuning, cut the nut." Type of bridge, made in Mexico or U.S., locking tuners. Okay, so it's basically the Tele itself mainly. Because honestly, maybe I'll try to combine this. I was gonna say if we put one of your Teles in C or something just for fun.
Well, that's
for a video, and then I'll go ahead. I'll assemble the board, and we can try to make this actually happen.
So I was gonna say, I think I already got the guitar for this. My Tele Deluxe, the P90s. That's what I would do.
That's what I was gonna say. That would be one of the more suited ones. That are even the. I mean, the wide ranges could probably do it. It would just be a little. Well, a little. I feel like the P90 would be more fun.
The Greco. Those pickups are a little hotter, but they also produce this upper mid fuzzy effect,
harmonic kind of thing.
Yeah, because I was kind of cranking it yesterday, and I was putting some gain on it, and I was like, "Wait a minute, these sound almost fuzzy." Yeah, because I never really played it with a lot of gain. I would, because after the show the other day, I'm like, man, I need some gain. So I was playing around, and I'm like, those have an interesting
character.
Yeah. So I would do that. Then what does he say? Pickups. So pickups, I would go P90s. String gauge, if we were doing drop, I would go 11s probably.
Well, yeah, for
do like a C standard or something.
Yeah, for C standard, I generally, especially at that. Well, it depends. I've used 12s before on Strat style stuff to see if it would do it, and it did it okay. But 11 to 52 generally is the string gauge I like the best for C standard. Honestly, going down to B, you're getting more, to me, that's getting more into death metal territory. So C is usually, I feel like the zone of doom.
That's
the zip code of doom. Yeah.
Zip of doom. So string gauge, so tuning.
Yeah, C standard.
Yeah, actually, I was thinking about bringing in. I don't know. I was thinking about doing that to one of them. I got plenty. I got to figure out.
Well, that's what I was gonna say. I think we should do it just for fun and see how it actually goes. Because I still owe him the pedal board build. The delay on that, just so you are aware, Hippie, it's not just me postponing it. There's a single pedal I've been waiting to come in that's been, because of the pandemic and the chip shortage and all that shit, it's literally been out of stock for almost 2 years now. So anyway, yeah, I think J-Rocket has some more of them now. If anything, I think I'm just going to use my used one.
Which one?
It was the Mr. Echo. That was the...
I got one.
Well, no, I was waiting for a new one so that we could sell them. And so I was like, because I didn't want to go to the trouble.
I got one.
I didn't want to go to the trouble of making this video and being like, oh, hey, one of the coolest parts of this whole video you can't buy because we don't have it.
I'll talk to the J-Rocket.
Yeah, because they have a few of those left. So I'll try to do the pedal board part of this, and then we'll try to doom out one of Ike's tellies and see how it goes.
Yeah, let's figure out which. You know what would be good? Would be that Seafoam Ivory.
Oh yeah, that'd be a good candidate.
The Seafoam Ivory, because it's got the rail hammers in it.
Oh yeah, and they were
that guitar that much, and it was almost on the chopping.
Were they like the
block,
P90 rail hammer or?
They're humbucker size P90s.
Yeah, that's what I thought. Yeah, that would be great.
Killer. And I was thinking about selling that guitar, but I'm taking those pickups and that whole pickguard out.
Oh, okay.
Because I was thinking about putting that into something else.
I think it'd be a good candidate though.
Yeah, maybe we'll do that one just to get it going. Okay, so as far as cut the nut, if it needs it.
Yeah, if it needs it, we'll see. I mean, some of them do, some of them don't. That's usually to the guitar. The bridge, I mean, standard Tele bridge
will suffice.
Yeah. Yeah, I mean, honestly,
I do like my Schroeder bridge.
Right.
Because it does have a little bit more mass, so if I was going to build it, I might put one of those on there.
Right. But yeah, I think we'll try to...
Single coil only, so P90s work.
Right, well, that was why
Made in Mexico, USA, I don't give a shit. Either way, that'd be fine.
Most of my same, yeah. Well, yeah, the one I would try this on would also be made in Mexico, so.
Locking tuners, yes.
Yeah,
it would really just be for convenience. It's not necessarily for tuning stability, but
although
for convenience.
It does help a bit with lower tunings, just if you're using like slinkier strings that can move around a bit more, having the locking tuners can help a bit in terms of just keeping everything, tight.
Keep it tight. Keep it tight.
But anyway, yeah. So Metalhead, we'll try to make this one happen.
All right.
Because like I said, the Mr. Ag, I'll just go ahead and do it, and then hopefully we can get more in stock by the time.
I'll put G&L on the list of things people to contact.
All right. Okay. So Charles 75N next.
Sure. What are the thoughts and preferences on the weight of a guitar? Is it true that a heavier guitar offers better sustain?
It's a really good question. I would have to say, I guess in my, I don't know if it's limited experience at this point, but in my fairly limited experience to me, because there's some guys that have, I feel like Matt from Texas Toast probably could answer this better, but.
Well, I already know his answer.
Well, I was going to say,
for the most part.
Yeah, I was going to say, I mean, you're right, because he always does that thing where he wraps himself around the wood. Yeah.
Once you wrap 200 pounds of mat around this thing,
Yeah, and I mean, I get that. At the same time, though, between your Ashley and Pickles, which are two of the heaviest guitars I've ever played. Oh, and your Billy Bow. Yeah. I was going to say, between those.
Not really that heavy, I don't think.
Well, it just has a lot of mass, though.
There's a lot there,
But between those three guitars, which are definitely some of the heaviest ones I've ever, Pickles and your Ashley are both north of 13.
Yeah, they're heavy.
Both of those guitars sustain for days. So it's part of me is inclined to say yes, but is it worth being nearly double the weight? I don't know. Because Pickles literally is double the weight of my Strat. So.
Right. So that being said, we've also played lightweight guitars that
is true too.
That resonate and sound great and have great sustain. And the one that comes to mind is that McGibney.
Oh, yeah.
Blue one, the Esquire he made.
Yeah, that's true.
And it was made out of Polonia.
Maybe it's one of those things
the whole guitar was only 4.23. It was 4.23 ounces. It was the lightest pounces. Pounces?
Pounces.
Dang. One of the lightest guitars I ever played that wasn't a semi-hollow. Right. And it sounded great, and the sustain was there. So, obviously preference. I like a lighter guitar. So, 8 pounds, give or take, mostly take.
Yeah, I mean, I guess
I'm good with that.
Well, that's the whole thing.
Are nice.
Yes.
Too, because they're lighter.
It's just been rare for me to ever encounter the length of sustain that I do get on Pickles or on the Ashley that you have on a lighter guitar. Maybe it's one of those things if you go one extreme or the other, a super light guitar somehow becomes more resonant because there's less to get in the way, and maybe on the other end of it, more mass on the guitar ends up providing more stability. So you end up, I don't know. It could even just be that those particular guitars happen to be
neck pocket stuff and all
Right.
that shit, like.
Well, that
I
is
don't know.
one,
We've heard a lot of guitars that we thought were like, wow, this is a high end guitar. It's $3,500. It's got to sound great, and we're like,
yeah.
And then we've played guitars that were $200 or $300, and we're like, holy
That's
shit,
true,
this
too.
thing sounds great.
Yeah,
So
that's true.
you know what I mean? It's hard to. I think it's one of those things that falls into the whole myth thing. There's more.
It is. It's
to
just
it,
like
but
and I was gonna say if that is the
each
case,
guitar is also individual, and there's
Right.
different grains and different, densities and such. So.
Well, yes. I was gonna say I don't. I guess I'm not willing to totally give up on it yet because like it does make sense overall that like once you factor for all those other things, the bridge, how it's constructed, all that. There's a lot of other things going on, but those are all things that Pickles and your Ashley do actually have in common.
Yes.
Is the build type, the weight, the shape. So it's like I think I think there is something to that. Like, yes, if the certain guitars that are in a certain weight class with a certain build type seem to, on average, seem to have longer sustain. And I don't necessarily mean just like, because like a lot of things can affect sustain, the gain you're playing at, all that. I mean, when I talk sustain, it's like how long it sustains a note with no help. So like even unplugged, like because your Ashley and Pickles does the same thing. You can strike a note on that and just do vibrato for days. And it's like there's not a lot of other guitars I've had. Like my Strat, I love it, but your window of sustain on that one is very short.
It doesn't do it as much as the other ones.
Right. All right. Anyway, next question. Let's do. I guess we could do Terry and then go back to Ben's.
All right, sounds good. So Terry 3G says,
yeah, he's got 2 questions this week. First one, this one he's asking if we can answer publicly. I don't think there's anything wrong with it. I mean, we're pretty honest about things. So he asks, with laws in Colorado for certain substances now relaxed, would you ever look to doing a joint venture, a little pun there, joint venture with a local grow op for some products related to the business, such as like Flipside, Tripside, or Blues Grooves, or other names? So basically, would we ever do any kind of collaboration with said providers of said substances?
Right, adult recreational.
I don't see us doing that. I mean, I don't think we have any like personal qualms about that. I think it's more
zero personal.
Yeah, I was gonna say
we don't give a shit.
Yeah, I think it's more just for whatever reason. There's odd parts of our country that are still very, very conservative when it comes to very select things. Because like alcohol, for whatever reason, especially where we're at, nobody gives a shit. I mean, not that a preschool is going to collaborate with a brewery, but I almost wouldn't put it past it happening.
Right,
here.
nobody, people just, I mean, booze is booze, and it kind of, it's been around forever.
Especially in Colorado, it's such a like...
And it's such a big thing here with craft breweries and a lot of the distilleries and stuff.
One of the big companies like Budweiser and all the, Coors.
And it's widely nationally accepted.
Right.
It's not a thing. Weed, on the other hand, obviously we're the first state to make it recreational, have a recreational option. Colorado already kind of didn't give a shit about that. That's why it passed. The thing is, nationally, and like Dylan was saying, there's pockets that have issue with that.
It's just how it's perceived.
It's the devil's lettuce. It's the gateway, and all this other
terrible jazz cabbage.
Jazz cabbage. All the things that that people want to say about it. So there's still a lot of negative connotations to it. I wouldn't foresee us doing any collaboration.
Well, it's such a hard thing
in regards to that because it could.
The perception could be bad here, at least for us in the States like that. I don't, who knows if this is another upmark in Canada, then Canada's getting better and better.
Well, the thing is like, it would have nothing to do with our customer service. It has nothing to do with our business operation. It would have nothing to do with how we operate our business. But some people would be like, oh my God, they're a bunch of potheads at the music store.
Yeah, well, no, that was
God forbid I go buy my guitar.
Well, no, that was something that happened.
From the stoners over there.
Well, what was funny happened Saturday was we were, all of us were all talking about, Earthless and going to the show, and we got into Isaiah's gear and we're talking about different big muffs and this, more like straight edge metalhead dude comes in, and it's like I love metal of all kinds, but it was just funny because he was one of the, the shaved head kind of dudes, and it was just funny because we're talking, and it's like I think I offered, he was looking for some distortion, and so I was trying to show him there's a few varieties of it, but when we come up to the big muff, he's like, oh no, I'm not doing that one. I'm like, oh, well, what's wrong with the big one? He's like, that's what those stoners use. And it was just so funny, and it's like, to me, it was shocking because out at like you said, we're in a music store,
right?
One of the biggest bands that could be synonymous with weed literally has lyrics on that pedal, which I get, but it's like there's so many other amazing bands that have used big muffs since the beginning of of the 70s.
Well, but you could also go Pink Floyd. What about? Oh yeah.
Well, yeah, but that's what I mean, and it's like in my head, like all these amazing artists that aren't in my head, I don't prescribe, or I don't think about them associated with a specific drug type. I mean, some of them, yes, but it's like that's not what I think about when I think about that person. Right. And so to me, it was just weird. That
I can't listen to any more Motorhead because they did a lot of cocaine.
Right. That's what I felt like it came down to. Is like this dude was literally going to write off all of everything, all the metal that's come out since Sabbath, basically, just because stoners play a big muff, and I was like. Okay, yeah, but it just shows that people are still they still fall into that, like, oh, that's what those stoners use. I'm not using that, and it's like that's such a weird reason to not use a pedal. Like
that doesn't mean we wouldn't do something with a brewery though.
Yeah, that's true too.
Because I think the last time I was at Odyssey Beer Works, I was talking to the owner, and I'm like, maybe we could figure out how to collaborate something. Yeah. Well, maybe for the opening here, you know what I mean? Maybe we could do a thing locally, obviously, because we're not in the booze business.
Right.
But if we could do something locally that could be kind of cool, collaborative, that would be a bit different. Mm-hmm. And there again, it's widely accepted. Weed still has pockets of people that are.
It has connotations that aren't getting shaken yet, which is surprising. Yeah. So
it will in another
century,
another 10 years or so, 10, 15 years, because I think there's a whole demographic.
Well, I don't know. I mean, it's like we're literally only 100 years away from Prohibition, so it's like it did take about 100 years for alcohol to just be which is weird because like in Europe, that would not even be a second thought. Like, collaborating with a winery or a brewery would never be.
I wouldn't mind collaborating with a sandwich shop though.
Yeah, that's true.
Maybe
It'd actually be pretty sweet if we could have our own signature sandwiches. That'd be pretty sweet.
I do like signature sandwiches.
All right, so Terry's second question, this one should be fairly to the point, is when it comes to colors of instruments and gear, what color do you prefer it to be?
I like it to be the color of sounds good.
Yes. Me too, and for whatever reason, a lot of my gear apparently sounds good in green, so...
Yeah, you do have some green stuff.
I do have a lot of green stuff.
I have a lot of different colors, so I'm just like, to me, whatever it sounds good.
I do too. I mean, I got a blue guitar, got a black guitar, I got two. Got a white one, green. I mean, I've got a lot of different colors. Honestly, the guitars, I actually like a lot of different color. I don't mind it's weird. I guess with the amps, I probably would never be one of those, like I'd never...
You wouldn't be like a Daphne Blue amp guy.
No, or like a white one, just because like it's just they're too hard to keep clean and like
you can't play it after Labor Day anyway.
Exactly, so, like I can't. Yeah,
what you want.
So no, those are like like I'd love if I was gonna go anything with an amp, like the exotic wood kind of thing looks cool to me. But that's just because I like the craftsmanship. But yeah, no colors. I don't really have a huge preference. I mean, like I said, oddly, a lot of my gear has ended up being green, which is just kind of funny, but.
I mean, I got that Fiesta red Strat. Mm-hmm. That's probably not a color I would gravitate towards.
But but when you play that thing,
it played great and it sounded good. I'm like, okay, well, I'll take it. But it's not that's not a color I would go for.
No.
And I've said, I'm like, I'm not really into red, but I got a red, burgundy Telecaster, and I have the Fiesta red.
Right.
So it really just comes down to playability and if it sounds good.
Yeah. All right, last one we'll wrap up so we can go help Gordo real quick.
At the door?
I don't know. It was kind of a weird pop.
Huh?
He'd be barking though if they actually knocked.
Yeah, but
he did perk up, but it's not full alert.
Oh, he's not in full.
Yeah, he's only at like it's only yellow alert right now. When it engages red alert and the bridge starts shaking, then
Is that
somebody's thumping around?
All right, you're gonna cut this.
All right.
Something's going on.
All right, we're back.
Everything's been investigated.
Yeah.
We're good.
We're safe.
Yeah. No zombies.
Yeah.
No zombies.
We haven't been accosted. We're fine.
Yeah, everything's good.
All right, last question, Mr. Coombs. Question for this week is, do either of you mess around with pick thickness, playing different music, or stick to the same pick for everything? That is actually a good question.
Very good question.
I do quite a bit. Like if I'm playing acoustic, oddly, I'll prefer a much lighter pick so that I feel like it's not fighting against the strings as much. It's just kind of flowing through them. For metal stuff, I tend to go, quite a bit thicker, but these days the XL Jazz 3 Ultex. I know, it's like all kinds of, the crows are gathering. Yeah. No, it's
so much weird shit.
It is really weird today. But I actually do mess with my picks quite a bit. If I played more funky stuff too, I would probably go thinner. I tend to, for that stuff, I like to not have the pick fight it, because I have such a heavy picking hand that even a light pick can, kind of rip through the string. So I tend to try to use the pick to kind of attenuate that.
That makes sense. I'm kind of around the same territory as far as I usually use a 1 millimeter. That's pretty much my go-to.
I think I'm 1.5 is usually where
Well, I'm gonna try out these new picks that a buddy of mine turned me on to. They're like 1.25 or something. So I'm gonna see, because he had one that was thicker and I kind of liked it. I'm gonna try those. But
I've incrementally gotten thicker at the longer we've been doing stuff and having more picks through the shop, the more the thicker I've gotten over the years. So. Because when I started, I was playing 0.73s, the yellow ones.
Yeah, see, I'll use the yellow. That's where I was gonna go. I'll use the yellow ones for acoustic.
Oh yeah, see that's why
I'll do
I still use those for that
acoustic,
too. Yeah.
but I usually go with the blue, the 1. Or
okay, so you do the same thing I do
for regular electric playing.
Yeah.
Just because I need to have that.
Yeah.
I need to have no flex in that.
Yes.
These guys that are playing 2s and shit like that, I don't get it. But
well, it is weird to me, when the strings, when the strings are providing more tension, for some reason I go lighter pick. I don't know why that is, but I just, it's something about, it's probably got to do with the tuning and just the feel of it, but whenever I use a really thick pick on an acoustic, I just feel like it's just clangy and too much.
I agree.
Yeah.
I like to have a little bit of, that's why 7.3.
Whereas playing electric, if I like the thicker picks, when you really got to dig into it, you can.
And if you're getting into your leads a little bit.
Right, and if you got to back off, it's, you can let the mask kind of do some of the work, so. Yeah, so that's pretty much it, and we should probably wrap it up. Weird shit keeps happening, and we got to go help Gordo, so.
Yeah, we got stuff to do. So, good talking to you guys.
Yeah.
And we'll catch you guys on the flip side.